You are listening to the Hope, Hustle, Heal podcast. People see someone doing well and they assume it happened quickly. They assume confidence came first. They assume there was one big moment. They assume success showed up overnight. But most success stories, they are years of invisible effort. Years of trying. Years of doubting yourself. Years of showing up before results. And years of building something nobody even claps for yet. That was my story. And if you are in a season right now where things feel slow, where you're working hard and wondering, does any of it even matter? This episode is for you, because I need you to know, slow does not mean failing. Sometimes slow means roots are growing, and roots matter. Welcome back to Hope, Hustle, Heal. Hey, I'm Amy, and today I want to talk about how my business really happened. Not the polished version, not the I took one leap and everything worked out version. The real version. The years, the doubts, the side hustle nights, the markets where I barely made any money, the quiet moments I almost talked myself out of continuing, and the tiny decisions that slowly changed my life. Because if you ever only hear the highlight reel, you'll quit during the part that's actually normal and real. For years, I lived the practical version of life. 13 years to be exact. My corporate job. I had reliable income, I had benefits, I had routine, predictability, and I want to say this clearly first. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that path. For many people, that path is beautiful and empowering. But for me, it started to feel like I was living a life that made sense on paper, but didn't fully fit my spirit. Have you ever felt that? Where everything looks fine and you should be grateful. People tell you you're lucky, but something inside you keeps whispering, there has to be more. That whisper can be hard to explain though, because it doesn't mean your life is bad. It just means it might not be fully aligned. And women are often taught to ignore that feeling. Be practical, be grateful. Don't ask for too much. Don't risk what's stable. Stay where it makes sense. But sometimes the life that makes sense still slowly drains you. I've always had ideas. Honestly, constantly. Whether it's been products or businesses or events. Ways to improve things. Ways to create experiences. Ways to make something ordinary feel memorable. And I was always the person saying, okay, hear me out, but, and, honestly, probably every other week. But for a long time, I thought that made me scattered. And now I realize, looking back, it actually made me visionary. And some people are wired for routine, which is totally fine. Some people are wired to build. Some people are wired to create. And some people are wired to gather people and make something happen. I was always some combination of all of those things, but I just didn't trust it yet. And maybe that's where some of you are right now. You have gifts, but you just haven't named them yet. You have instincts, but you keep minimizing them. You have potential, but you keep calling it unrealistic. So when I look back, the clues were there long before the business. I loved hosting. I loved planning. I loved atmosphere and details. I loved making people feel something when they walked into a room. Whether that came out in the form of birthday parties or themed nights or get-togethers, I was the person thinking about music and setup and timing and food and how it would flow and how to make it special and memorable. And I know now that some of that actually came from my grandma. That lady is incredible, and she took hosting to a whole other level. If there was a theme, we committed. Whether it was decor or energy or presentation, the little touches. She understood something that I now use in my business all the time. People remember how something felt, not just what it looked like and not just what it cost, but how it felt. And I think I learned that as a young child without even realizing it, because sometimes the seeds of your future are planted so early on that you believe they're actually personality traits, but it's something you were actually exposed to very early on. So, although it didn't work out, when I planned my wedding, I loved it. Like truly, truly loved it. The vision, the details, the excitement, the creating of an experience for people, the planning boards, the decisions, the flows of the day. And over the years, I loved helping friends too, whether it was, weddings or showers or birthdays or just themed events in general, even just home decor ideas. Helping friends and acquaintances make their moments feel special. I essentially was event planning before I even called it event planning. And that's important because sometimes your gift is active long before your title even catches up. Sometimes the thing you're just good at is actually something bigger trying to emerge. So then life changed. And painful seasons have a way of stripping everything down. They strip down what matters, what doesn't, who you are, who you aren't, what you've tolerated, and what you actually want. So sometimes pain asks better questions than comfort ever does. And while some seasons totally broke my heart, they also woke me up. And I realized I had spent a lot of time being practical, responsible, dependable, stable, but not enough time asking, what lights me up? What's mine? What do I want to build? Who am I becoming? And that chapter was painful, but it actually became a catalyst. So I started small, very small, a little table in the corner of my bedroom. No big glamorous studio, no perfect branding package, no person investing in my business, no big giant launch, just a table, paint, wood, late nights, and a woman trying to remember herself. And I think people romanticize beginnings because there's such a beauty to beginnings, but real beginnings are often messy. They happen after bedtime, after dishes, after tears, after responsibility. They happen when you're tired or when you're doubting yourself or when you're scared or while you're still healing. And that little table became sacred to me because when I sat there, I wasn't just making things, I was meeting myself again. Not employee, not manager of stress, not survival mode, me, creative me, capable me, alive me. And sometimes your healing starts in a tiny corner of a room that nobody else notices. People often ask me where the name Whiskey and Walnut comes from, and my drink of choice has always been an old fashioned. I often call it my old man drink. Don't judge. It's strong, classic, and no nonsense. And one night while I was working on a piece of walnut wood, my hands were busy and I had the music on and my mind was wandering and it hit me instantly. Whiskey, walnut, whiskey, and walnut. I remember that feeling, honestly, when something clicks in your spirit, when you know that's it, that's mine. That name mattered because after seasons of feeling disconnected from myself, I had finally found something that felt like me again. It wasn't just a business name, it was my identity returning. So then people started buying things. And if you've ever sold the first thing you created, you know that feeling. It's not just money, it's proof, it's possibility. It's someone saying, what's in you has value. And after hard seasons, sometimes that kind of validation hits deep. Then came custom orders, then referrals, then repeat clients, then momentum. And with every little win, my confidence grew. Not all at once, though. Quietly, slowly. one order at a time. That's how confidence works, not through affirmations, through evidence. Then came markets. And I want to tell the truth here because some markets that I participated in were amazing. Some were slow, some were freezing cold, some were boiling hot and my makeup was melting off of my face. Some I barely made enough to cover the actual vendor fee for the table. And some I packed everything up exhausted, wondering why did I do this to myself? Some days I drove home super discouraged and questioning everything. But I kept going. Why? Because I understood something before I had words for it. Even when I wasn't making much money, I was growing. I was growing my network, my visibility, my confidence, my customer skills, my resilience, my relationships, my reputation. And not every season pays cash. Some seasons pay in skill, pay in clarity, or confidence. Some pay later, and you don't even know when that payout is going to come. But there's always a lesson many people miss in those seasons. They judge a season by the immediate money. Sometimes the real payment is who you're becoming. And looking back now, those markets mattered so much more than I know. Honestly, so much more. Because then I started getting involved in my kids' school. And I suggested hosting a vendor market as a fundraiser because by then I understood the traffic flow, the atmosphere, the promotion, the energy, what keeps people around, what creates excitement. And honestly, we did it. It was successful. The school benefited huge. The community showed up, and I remember feeling something light up in me. Oh, this is bigger than art. I don't just love making products, I love creating experiences. I love organizing moving parts. I love helping others shine. I love bringing people together. And that moment changed a lot because sometimes your first dream is actually the doorway to your real one. So after that came the middle chapter, the part nobody glamorizes. It was corporate by day, business by night, mom all the time, packing orders late, emails after bedtime, markets on weekends, laundry somewhere in there, drinking water, texting people back, exhaustion, repeat. And this went on for years, not weeks, not a 6-month success story, literally years. There were moments I felt stretched so thin. Mom guilt, work guilt, business guilt. Like I was never doing enough anymore because I could never give myself 100% to any of those one areas. I was trying so hard. So there were moments when I wanted to quit. There were moments when I felt like I was comparing myself to other people who were moving faster. There were moments when I thought maybe I was kidding myself. But then there were also moments where I felt deeply alive. And that's what purpose does. It tires you differently. You can be exhausted and energized at the same time. So eventually, I knew I couldn't stay split forever. There comes a point where staying safe starts costing more than changing. And I had to ask myself, what if the biggest risk right now is staying the same? And that was the real fear, not leaving stability, not staying small, staying underused, staying resentful, staying in a life that no longer fit who I was or who I wanted to be. So I made the leap, not recklessly, responsibly. But first, tested first, worked first, prepared first, then moved. And when I fully backed myself, something inside me changed. Self-trust. That may be one of the greatest rewards of betting on yourself because people often see the leap, but they don't see the years behind it. They don't see the tired nights, the slow months, the disappointing events, the doubts, the tears, the discipline, the persistence. So if you are comparing yourself to someone online, Remember, you may be comparing your chapter 2 to someone else's chapter 12. Please be careful with comparison. It steals gratitude from your own becoming. So, to the woman listening, maybe your thing isn't business. Maybe it's leaving. Maybe it's healing. Maybe it's school. Maybe it's speaking up. Maybe it's finally choosing yourself. Maybe it's becoming the woman you felt inside for years. Whatever it is, slow progress is still progress. Quiet progress is still progress. Invisible progress is still progress. Honestly, you do not need to have it all figured out. You do not need immediate results. You do not need everyone to understand where your mind is. You just need the courage to start and then the discipline to continue. Because overnight success usually has years behind it. One day people see the result, but only you know the nights it took. And that's okay. On our next episode, we're talking about what starting over actually feels like emotionally, the loneliness, the identity loss, watching life change around you, and how to rebuild confidence when you barely recognize yourself. If you've ever had to begin again from the floor, that one is for you. Slow seasons build strong women, and strong women change everything. I'll see you on the next episode.